Hello fellow humans, today we are going to go over the process of how to install an AI art generator similar to Stable Diffusions Automatic1111, known as invokeAi. And this one is an exciting video for me to make because I really love invokeAi's user interface. Now, before we get started, just a quick note, you will need a graphics card with at least 4 gigs of RAM and at least 12 gigs of memory in your computer. All right, so let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to need to download and install is Python. And it's very important that you use Python 3.10 because if you use Python 3.11, invokeAi may not work with it. And I've already downloaded it, but if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you would just download the 64-bit installer for Windows. And it would go to your downloads folder, and then you would just double click on it. And because I already have it installed from my previous video that I did on Automatic1111, we're just going to, all right, so when you install, it'll ask you, there will be a box that says add to path, and you'll make sure that you check that box. And if you don't see it, you can refer to the video I did on Automatic1111 and you can see the install process for Python there as well. All right, so now to get invokeAi, we're going to go to the GitHub repo for the invokeAi program. Going to scroll down here and you'll want to download this file here. All right, so we just download that. Open her up. And this installer, I just like to install it in the same directory that my Stable Diffusion install is in. So I'm going to go to my C drive, then scroll down to users, click on our username for the computer, and then just paste it right in this same folder. Well, extract it to the same folder here. So I'm just going to drag it over. Now that's installed, open up that file and double click Windows long paths, and this will disable path limit that Windows sets. All right, so now we're just going to click on this Windows batch file, and this should start the install process for invokeAi. And this will take a while depending on your internet connection as well as your hardware requirements. So if it can sometimes appear like it's doing nothing, just leave it. It'll eventually finish and then we'll be able to go and continue on with the next steps. All right, now this is asking where we would like invokeAi to be installed. If you want to pick a different location for it, like if you want to install it on a different drive, you would just put yes for this. But since I want it installed in the same directory that my Stable Diffusion install is in, I'm just going to put no, then hit next. And now this is for how you want invokeAi to generate the images. Do you want it to use the GPU? Or do you want it to use your CPU? So we always want to use our GPU because it's going to be a lot faster for generating the images. So we're just going to choose option 1. And it'll continue downloading the files that it needs to install invokeAi. Now this is asking us where we want the default directory for the image outputs that invokeAi generates. Where do we want them to go? So we're just going to leave it at the default location and just click next, and just hit Y to confirm our selection. Hit next. Now this next part is asking if you want to include the not safe for work filter in the model. I always put no because it does take up a lot of space on your hard drive. So if you have limited disk space, that's something to think about. So we're just going to put no, click next. Now this is asking what models do we want invokeAi to download along with its install. Now we can choose to pick specific models. Now it won't be every Stable Diffusion model that's available in that customized list. It's only the ones that invokeAi thinks are the most popular ones at the current time. All right, so for me, I always just have it install all the models, so that way I have a nice variety of options to choose from. So just put A and then just hit next and let it continue on with its installation. We're going to agree to the terms here. And now this part, you will need a token from Hugging Face. So let's go to our Hugging Face account here. Hugging Face, already have it up in the huggingface.co. Now to get the key that you have to put in here, you want to go to, after you create your Hugging Face account, you want to go to your settings, click on your profile up here, go to settings, and then go down here to where it says access tokens. And you're going to put a new token and you're going to set it to write. And then just in here for the name, just name it whatever. You can name it whatever you want. I always try to name it the name of the application that I'm going to be using the token for. So in this case, invokeAi, and as you can see, I already created one here. So you just hit generate token, and then after you hit that, it'll give you your key and it will look just like this. And you just hit copy and come in here, paste it, and then let it continue on. And then now this will download all of the models as well as any other additional files that it needs to get invokeAi up and running properly. All right, so we're just gonna leave it here for a second while all of that finishes downloading. All right, now once that finishes, the dialog will close. So we're just gonna go back out into our main folder here and go into the invokeAi folder and click on the Windows batch file and open that up. And we're going to use option 2 to bring up the web UI. And once that's loaded, it's going to give us a web address that we have to go to. All right, now that that is done, downloading all the files it needs, we're going to open up our web browser and go to this address here. So I'm just going to open up a new tab, go to localhost :9090. And that should load up here. And here we are, invoke1111. So let's make sure it's working properly by generating our amazing cat. And we're going to put this negative prompt here just so that it doesn't produce any nudity content. Invoke. And we're just click on invoke to generate the image. And we have an image of our cat. Now we have some other options here. We have our CFG scale, which is basically the guidance scale. And what this does is the higher value that's in here, the higher the value that's in here, the more closely the AI model will try to generate an image based on your prompt. It'll try to stick to your prompt a little more closely. And the lower this number, it'll give the AI more freedom in what to create. Then we have our samplers to choose from here. Always pick Euler A. It's a pretty good one. Then you can change your width, change your height parameters as well, how many images you want it to generate. You have your steps, how many steps you want it to take to complete the image. You can randomize your seed here. You have different variations. So if you have multiple images, you can choose to how much they variate from each other. We have face restoration, which fixes faces, very good for generating human photos. Upscaling for posting on social media and doing stuff in Photoshop and whatnot. And then seamless tiling, we can turn that on to create patterns. And then high res optimization, that just helps out with generating higher resolution images. And then we have a few other options here. We have image to image, and what image to image does is it basically generates an image based on a reference image that you put over here. All right, then we have our unified canvas, and what this is basically in painting. So you can use your mask here, draw on a photo, and then put in your prompt over here what you want changed. Or you can extend this and add on to the image that you already made. All right. And then next we have nodes. So this is a node-based system for the generation of images. It's currently under development. So that sounds like it could be pretty interesting once that gets added. Then post-processing It's related to image upscaling, face restoration, stuff like that. So can't wait for that. That's going to be pretty good. And then training. Now you can use textual inversion using the main script, but if you're not familiar or comfortable with using the command line, you can just wait for them to add it here. And that's pretty much it. That's how we install invokeAi on our systems. And if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, really helps out the channel a lot, and please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.